That's My Vinyl Answer interviews are brought to you by Make a Difference with Records. Based in Godalming, Surrey, we sell second-hand records and donate all proceeds to the charity Catalyst, who are best known for their mental health work. You can find out more about us at makeadifferencewithrecords.com. We co-hosted this interview with Nadine Page of The Creative Well. The Creative Well provide professional mental health services to those people in the music business. Parts 1 and 2 are available either in video or audio format on our YouTube channel and audio podcast channel called That's My Vinyl Answer. So I'm Anthony from Make a Difference with Records, and I'm here with Nadine Page from The Creative Well, and this is part 2 of our interview with Amanda Lehmann. Amanda, thanks for sticking with us. We've already taken up quite a lot of your time, but thank you for that. So in part 1 we talked very much about your own musical side and your musical writing. We're now going to touch on the 7 questions that we ask all musicians that we interview, which really touch on your first musical loves and your musical influences.
Yeah, so what was the first album that you bought?
Well, the first album I bought, like with my own money, which at the time was pocket money,
Yeah.
was Discovery by ELO.
Oh, okay.
I remember I went into Woolworths and bought that album because I'd heard some of the music off it, and that was, I think that was kind of in. Don't think there was a record shop as such in the town where I lived, so it was kind of like, I just remember there being a very limited number of records, and I saw that and I thought, oh, I like that, so I bought that, and I was very proud of my ELO album. I still got it as well.
Oh, good.
Still got it. So and I love ELO.
Woolies was just the top 20, wasn't it?
I think it
Pretty
probably was
much.
actually. I think it was just the top 20.
And then grab some pick and mix on your way out.
Good old Woolies.
Yeah, pick and mix. Oh, I wouldn't touch that now. I've heard too many stories about pick and mix.
Yeah, exactly.
Good old Woolies. Yeah, do you still have it?
I do still have that album, yeah. And I still like ELO. I think I just really enjoy their music. They're sort of my playlist. And,
it's quite happy music.
It is happy music, yes. I think Mr. Blue Sky is one of my favourites, and that's got that poignant thing, which those sort of particularly the ending bit, and it's just very sweet and it's rather lovely. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love Hold On Tight to Your Dreams. Love that song.
That's a lovely one, isn't it?
Great song, yeah.
Yeah.
And what about single? What was the first single that you bought?
Well, I was kind of, if I rack my brains to think of what the first single, I can't actually think of what the first single was, other than, and again, this is when I was quite small, the first single I remember actually buying, and again it was at Woolworths, but it was probably in the children's record section or wherever, I don't know, was the Pink Panther theme.
Oh, okay.
I thought you were going to say Pinky and Perky.
Well, I did used to like Pinky and Perky apparently, but anyway. The Pink Panther theme.
We all
I used to
have our
love the Pink
secrets,
Panther.
Amanda.
I don't know if I've ever mentioned that to anybody before, but I'm thinking about it. That is the first single I remember that I bought. But what I bought after that, I don't know. I did buy singles. I remember buying Rainbow and stuff like that, but that was a little bit later. I don't know what the first one was.
And again, did you keep that?
What, the Pink Panther
The single,
one?
yeah.
I did, but I don't know where it is. I know I did keep it. I certainly wouldn't have thrown that away.
Someone snaffled it. Some
Well,
relative.
I tell you, a lot of my records have, or vinyls, you call them vinyls now, don't you? I call them records, have disappeared over the years. As I was looking at them not that long ago, and I was thinking, where's that? And where's that? And they're just gone. It's just like, so I
had one of those literally this week, because one of my favourite albums of all time is Ark of a Diver by Steve Winwood. And I could not find it.
And you couldn't find it?
No, so I had to go and buy another one.
But it's not the same though, is it?
It's
that
not.
One that's been with you through your life. And
Exactly.
I was really shocked, but I think because it's just so long since I've really properly looked through them.
Yeah.
We've recently sort of got a really decent sort of record player.
Yeah.
So I was looking through them, and I was just really staggered that so many of the ones I expected to find there weren't there, and So just throughout life, I don't know, things get shared and split, and people nick things at parties, and stuff just goes, and you think, oh no. So yeah, it's a shame.
So because we're very nice people, we always start with a couple of easy questions, which is just factual stuff. So, and then we get into the more difficult one, which was an impossible one, really. So the house is on fire. You've only got time to save one album. What album would you pick up, and why?
Oh God. That's a difficult one. Oh.
So people do often cheat at this point and pick more than one. But if you give me a starter for 10, what would you pick?
Well, if I can think of an album I just keep going back to, is All About Eve. It hasn't got the title. It's just All About Eve. It's the one with Martha's Harbour and Lady Moonlight and all of those ones on it. And that album is kind of poignant for me. It reminds me of when I started doing duo gigs. There was another lady called Hannah, and she was a lovely sort of folky, bluesy vocalist, and our voices went well together. And we both discovered All About Eve at the same time. And we used to sing quite a lot of All About Eve songs together. And it sort of takes me back to that time, and then all sorts of times from then to now, and I still really love that album. And so it might that's the one that springs to my mind right now for some reason.
Well, I think with albums, often a lot of you generally have sort of 5 or 6, maybe even 10 or 12 that you keep going back to every time, and you gravitate towards a different one depending what mood you're in, don't you? So
yes.
But for today,
it's all About Eve wins is rescued.
So I don't know if this next question is going to be easier or harder in that case, which is with vinyl. One of the great things about its resurgence is that you get the artwork in its full glory as it's meant to be seen.
Oh yes.
And I know you're into your artwork. You did the graphics for Surrender of Silence, didn't you?
I did actually.
Yes. So I know you're into your artwork on albums. If you were to think about an album cover that you particularly like from a graphic point of view, or what it stands for and represents, what would you pick?
It's an interesting one, isn't it? Because the variety of album covers there is, and what do you like them for? Again, there's so many different kind of styles and different ones that you like for different reasons. And I think if I was going to pick one out that I always really liked, and that is just such one that I can kind of visualise it just by thinking about it, I would say it's Jethro Tull's Broadsword and the Beast.
Okay.
I loved the cover for that, and the way he's coming out of the frame, and the more you look at it, you've got all the runes sort of round the edge of the album, and the faces as gargoyles. And I think it's one of those covers that you can look at, and the more you look at, the more you see.
Yes.
And yet it's not fiddly faffy. It's a really good image. Boom. Yeah. It's a very powerful image in itself, and it's got such a mischievous kind of look to it, the main character, and it's very clever the way they got sort of weave the band into it. And I just think it's a very clever and very effective. So that would be my choice.
Okay.
Love the album as well. Fantastic album.
Great.
Actually, I might rescue that one.
Yeah.
That's 2. We normally get to about 5 by the time.
Don't forget you've got 2 hands.
Yes, that's right.
I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah.
No, you've got one's got to open the door to get you out.
That's true. So, which artists would you like to most collaborate with? It can be dead or alive.
Well, when I get asked that question, which I have been asked before, I usually say Nancy Wilson from Heart, because I think she's fantastic. I think she's a really mean guitar player. She's got a lovely voice. I love her stage presence. Yeah. I did for about a year. I was in a Heart tribute band. Just for fun.
Okay.
And I did obviously the Nancy Wilson role, and that was just really, really good fun. And she also comes across as a really nice person as well. So
did she ever come and see you live, play it?
Don't think so.
No.
No, but they tend not to come to the UK. Although I have heard, I think they are actually touring the UK this year.
I thought I heard that because
Yeah.
she just turned 70, I think, didn't she?
Oh, has she?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. Well,
Yeah.
if I look and perform anywhere near as well as she does
Yeah.
at 70, I will be very,
You
very
need to
happy.
invite her. Invite her to your tour.
Yeah.
Here. And also, what band or what artist would you most like to see in concert?
You can rewind time for this purpose.
Okay.
Anything you missed, you wish
Right.
you'd seen.
Okay. I would say that I will wind back time, and I would say that I would like to have seen the actual live version of Wishbone Ash's Live Dates Volume 2.
Ooh,
That's specific, isn't it?
That is very specific. You're going to have to
very,
explain that.
very specific.
Yes. I think that. Sorry. I think that that album. I've adored that for a long time. That particular live album of theirs, and
So that's album number 3 then. That you want to save.
Right, album number 3, volume 2. Yes, absolutely. I'll rescue that one too.
Okay.
And that one, I think that's the nicest version I've heard them do of the song Persephone, which I love that track, Persephone.
Yeah.
And to be able to, I just think that's absolutely stunning, the version of Persephone on that live album. So to have actually been at that live event and heard them do that, I would have liked to have been there.
Oh,
for that.
wow. Well, Martin Turner's actually a very good friend of mine, so he's going to love hearing this. Yeah.
Oh, I saw Martin Turner. I saw Martin Turner's Wishbone Ash at Norwich several years ago at the waterfront.
Yeah.
And it wasn't as well as attended as it should have been.
Yeah.
Because maybe Norwich isn't very proggy. I don't know. Hard work. And but it was a great gig. I thoroughly enjoy that, singing along to everything. It was just lovely. I love Wishbone Ash, so yes, you can tell him I thoroughly enjoyed his Norwich gig.
Yeah, I will. He's also an ambassador for the Creative Well.
Oh, is he?
Yes, he is. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, good for him.
So yeah, I'd be very happy.
Yes, nice. Yeah.
So if we're back onto the mental health side of things, the penultimate question we always ask an artist is really around, we've called it the Virtual Vinyl Vault, and everyone says to me, you've got to pick a different title because it sounds a bit closed off. Doesn't sound very open. But the idea of it, the concept at least, was we've talked a lot about music being cathartic, music helping people in some shape or form, connecting people. And so we always say to musicians, look, if you were to pick 3 albums in the context of mental health, so it can be something that's just mad for escapism or something that's quietly reflective, which 3 albums by any artist would you think of to put in that collection?
Yeah, it is a $1 million question, isn't it? Because I think that music is so subjective, and what works for one person doesn't work for another, and the funny old thing, music, isn't it? It's a bit it's something you have to almost take care of as well, because I think that music can make you feel better or worse. Obviously, I'm a huge advocate for music making you feel better, but I know from my own experience, if I'm not in the right mood and I listen to music that isn't the right time, I mean, I've been in a restaurant and felt in a sort of a low mood, and then something's just randomly played, and I've had to kind of walk out because it's not I've come back again, I've walked out to be good, but I've had to kind of go to the loo or something because it's maybe just tear up and you can't be sitting there blubbing away at the table. So I think that there's times to pick music and times not to pick things depending on what. So I think it's interesting, your question is around different sorts of music for different moods, because again there isn't a one size fits all. This is a good mental health album, and there's no such thing. It doesn't work like that. So thinking about like 3 different albums spanning different moods, I would go for Clannad Sirius is an album that I've gone back to a lot if I want to kind of balance out. If I need something that's not going to actually trigger too much, something that's going to make me feel, it's not like a feel-good album, but it's like a relaxing,
Calming.
it's calming,
Yeah.
but it's not calming in a kind of a meditative way. It's just something that I find a very balancing, something that's got enough to it that I enjoy the tracks.
Yeah.
I love her voice anyway, and all the vocal treatment on that album. I think it's gorgeous. But that album particularly is my favourite. So yes, I would go for Clannad Sirius to go in the vault. Now, another one that I would pick, that if you feel the need of a really good cry, I'm not keen on crying. I find it an uncomfortable experience, and it's sort of, so I don't generally try to do that. But some people love to have a good cry. Some people love to listen to really sad music and just let it out. And I think that actually it's probably a really good plan if you're that sort of person. I think that's really, really good, because crying's there for a reason. You get rid of those toxins. It's good for you.
Yeah.
And I think that I would choose, and I don't know if this is not like, it's a classical album, so it's not like a song album. I would choose Rachmaninoff for that. The piano concerto, I think it's number 2, is the one that is a real, it's the one they used for Brief Encounter, the film, which I think is a real tearjerker. I can't really listen to it. It's just so beautiful, and I'd definitely have to be on my own to listen to that one. But I think it's one of the most beautiful pieces of music, across the whole of that album that I could think of as an emotional piece. It's gorgeous. And one other, for something that I think, if you're going to escape, if you're going to just want something that's going to take your mind off, or just feel like just pure escapism, and some damn good music, I would choose Overture by Kansas. Carry On, Wayward Son, all of that. I love that album. I think it's just absolutely full of good music, and it's got emotion in it, but it's got a positivity to it, I think, as well, and it's so imaginative as well. It's such visual music, I think, that you can really just go wherever with that. It's kind of a road. It's somewhere to go, to travel to. So I would choose that one as the third album.
Very interesting choices.
Yes, I bet that there must be so many different interpretations for what should go in the vault, I think.
Well, as you said, it's a very personal thing, and the whole idea of the vault is to have very different albums for very different people and very different moods. And that's why we're looking to build it up gradually over time, because hopefully it'll have something for everybody. That's the idea.
Yeah, absolutely. Good idea.
So the last question, which is where we need your final answer, is really all about, as Make a Difference with Records. A lot of it's about raising awareness of the power of music. We've talked a lot about that. But also we do raise funds, we do raise money for Catalyst, the charity. And we always ask musicians to say, well, if you think about your own career, whether it's collaborative work, or whether it's your own solo work, if there was one record you think we should put into Make a Difference with Records of yours, what would it be?
It would be Innocence and Illusion, because I think that one is the most kind of one that's geared in the right direction for what you guys are doing. So it definitely yes would be Innocence and Illusion. Unfortunately, I can't present a vinyl because I haven't got it on vinyl. That's something I really would like to do, and I did think hard about doing it, but the run-up wasn't long enough, because vinyls you have to plan a long way in advance to get those done, months in advance. Plus, I wasn't sure how the sales would go. I mean, it did actually. My CD has sold and still is selling really well, but at some point in the future, I hope to get the final version done, and then we'll yes, pass one on to you. But in the meantime, yes, the CD is the one. Yes.
Well, thank you for that. I mean, it would be nice to see the vinyl because the cover of the album is very interesting, and it would be good to see that in its full glory.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, Des Walsh, the artist who did that, he did a lovely job on that. It's lovely and golden and sunny.
It is indeed.
Yeah.
Well, Amanda, thank you so much, both for your insights into your career that we discussed in part 1 and for your thoughts and sharing with us your musical influences in part 2. On behalf of Nadine and myself, we can't really thank you enough.
You're very
Thank
welcome.
you.
It's been lovely
It's
chatting
been
to you both.
absolute pleasure. Absolute
been
pleasure.
our
Thank
pleasure.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Check out our other interviews on our YouTube channel and on our audio podcast channel under That's My Vinyl Answer.